We are back for another BikeRadar head-to-head, this time with two budget-friendly endurance road bikes in the ring. We've got Trek Domane AL1, which will set you back £775, pitted against the £949 Giant Contend 1. While on the face of it, these alloy-framed rim brake road bikes may be similar, we've drilled down into which ride gets our vote, from value to money to that all-important performance on the ride. So, can the Giant contend against the popular Trek Domane? Before we get into it, make sure you're subscribed to the BikeRadar channel and click the bell icon so you never miss a video upload from us. Let's start with the frame details. At this sub £1,000 price point, both the Giant Contend 1 and the Trek Domane AL2 use alloy frames paired with carbon fibre forks. Both bikes exhibit neat, smoothed alloy welds. You could be forgiven for thinking the Giant is made from carbon from a distance, with some tube shaping designed to mimic the racier carbon fibre Giant TCR. But the Contend isn't alone in copying a more expensive model, as the Trek's head tube is also formed to take on the signature shape of its carbon counterpart. Carbon fibre forks are used to aid vibration absorption, and the Trek also features the brand's vibration damping ISO-speed tech in the fork. Moving on to the build specs. Our two contenders are separated by a level when it comes to groupset choice. The Giant uses a 9-speed Shimano Sora groupset and Tektro rim brakes, while the Trek is built with Shimano's 8-speed Claris groupset. This drop in the groupset will go some way to achieve the £149 difference between the two bikes. It's not a complete Claris setup though, with a non-series RS200 double chainset and unbranded rim brake calipers. Both bikes use in-house alloy finishing kit for the stems, handlebars and seat posts, though the Giant uses a non-standard D-shaped seat post designed to enhance compliance. Impressively, both the wheels and the 28mm tyres supplied by Giant are tubeless-ready, which is a real boon at this price point if you're considering converting to a tubeless setup. The Trek uses narrower 25mm tyres, although they actually measure up to 27.5mm when fitted. While the Bontrager TLR wheels are tubeless compatible, these tyres are not. If you're looking for a little extra cushioning, there's clearance to fit up to 28mm rubber in the Domane or 32mm in the Contend. Both bikes can be fitted with mudguards, with the Domane also accepting a rear rack, so it could happily be used as a winter road bike or loaded up for commuting duties. All in all, the Giant weighs in at 9.51 kilograms, while the Trek is a shade heavier at 9.62. I'd place both the Contend and the Domane firmly in the endurance road bike category, for tarmac-ready rigs that are designed to be enjoyed all day long without compromising on comfort. Their geometries reflect this, with the Giant employing its tried and tested compact frame geometry design. The Giant uses a 72.5 degree head angle, while the Trek measures up at a slightly slacker 71.3 degrees. The seat tube angle comes in very similar, at 73.5 and 73.7 degrees respectively. While the wheelbase is 20mm shorter with the Giant's compact frame design, it's the difference in bottom bracket drop that's most noticeable between bikes. The Trek uses an extra centimetre of drop compared to the Giant, which in combination with the longer wheelbase should add stability to help calm stormy tarmac. So that covers off the build specs and geometry, but most importantly, how do they ride? Our testers put the Domane and Contend through a rigorous regime on their local testing loops. Think miles of country lanes, smoother roads and urban riding, not to mention some of the best local climbs and descents and plenty of technical corners. The Giant Contend gave a good fit, with generous overlap between neighbouring frame sizes. This meant that even though the medium size tested wasn't our tester's usual medium-large size, it still proved comfortable with a small 50mm difference in reach. The Domane proved a great fit straight from the box, reinforcing our previous positive experiences with Trek's endurance road fit. It's clear that comfort is a design priority when it comes to the Domane. The build uses proprietary ISO-speed tech in the carbon fork and has a very plush, bump-smoothing saddle. However, unlike its loftier brethren, and particularly the carbon Domane range, there are no ISO-speed-like elements integrated into the aluminium frame. While the 25mm tyres do measure up a few millimetres wider, it would be easy to improve comfort further by fitting 28mm tyres run at slightly lower pressures. So, while the higher spec carbon Domanes amplify the road smoothing effect much further, we still found the ride quality on the entry-level machine to be very impressive. Although the Giant takes a different approach to providing comfort, the results are no less impressive. The combination of the carbon fork and allied D-fused seat post enhance all-day comfort. Moving away from conventional round seat posts gives this flat back design enhanced flex fore and aft, which is amplified by the post's slim diameter. Fairly wide tyres also help, and it's great to know that there's space for even more with clearance up to 32mm tyres. While some bikes rely on a squishy saddle, Giant's approach is firmer and very well shaped. The saddle feels supportive, and I'd expect it to retain its structure for longer than a very soft saddle. But of course, saddle preference is a very personal thing. With less cushioning, the smooth ride definitely owes much to the D-shaped seat post. The Giant's front end, while not quite as well damped as the rear, still has great vibration absorption and encourages you to take the faster line, even when the surface is questionable. The Trek and Giant both use Shimano shifting, separated by both the performance level and a cog between the Trek's 8-speed Claris and the Giant's 9-speed Sora. But how much of a difference does this actually make? The Giant's 1:1 gear ratio with 34:34 at the easy end, right the way up to the high 50/11 top gear, means it has the potential to take on almost any road. That extra sprocket also makes the cassette less gappy than the Claris 8-speed offering. The shifting with Sora is snappy and smooth, with comfortably ergonomic levers and brakes that are up to the task. In contrast, while the Claris levers are ergonomic, the shifting has less finesse, with larger jumps between the gears on the 11:32 tooth cassette. While Claris's front mech shifting is acceptable, it sometimes needs a little more coaxing to avoid getting stuck mid-shift. The Giant's low gear doesn't quite match the Trek's 1:1 ratio, but the compact 50/34 chainset means you should have enough gears for most scenarios. Where the two really do differ is in braking performance. Though both use rim brakes, which is to be expected at this price point, their performance is far from equal. The Giant's Tektro calipers offer an unremarkable yet suitable level of braking, while the Trek's lead-chi components really let the build down. While the caliper action feels quite lively, whatever Trek have used for the brake pad seems to be allergic to alloy rims. They have no bite, they feel very wooden, and with no pad compression or the ability to increase pressure and stop faster. Rim brakes are a very easy and inexpensive swap, so it's a shame Trek didn't do exactly that. Enough of these specifics. What about our overall ride impressions? Giant has long been a master of creating coherent bikes, where the result is often greater than the sum of its parts, and that's again the case with the Contend 1. The Contend does more than simply roll along for a pleasant ride, it really does respond to being pushed too, which is not always the case at this price point. The wheels are partly responsible here, with slightly deeper rims, which can accelerate quickly enough to make things fun without being anchors on long climbs. The Giant SR3 tyres offer consistently predictable grip too, with their rounded shape and lower pressure giving great confidence in the corners. Refined ride quality and accomplished handling make outings on the Contend a relaxing and positive experience. The wheel spec of the Trek, in contrast, warrants improvement. On short drags, we found our approach speed to hills was slower, meaning we had to change at least one gear before slogging over the crest of the hill. The Bontrager TLR wheelset is solid and can be converted to tubeless for some punch protection, but trying to muster a town-signed sprint requires far more power than it should. However, with a handy tailwind and a friendly gradient, the Trek still can really fly. The build offers great confidence when it comes to cornering and descending, feeling utterly stable. This encourages you to push a little bit harder, and the Bontrager tyres grip very well. So, who takes the win and why? We've seen some really impressive features at this sub-£1,000 price point, but there can only be one winner in our budget bike battle. Who takes the crown? The wallet-friendly cousin of the Paris-Roubaix winning Trek Domane, or the step up from Giant's cheapest Contend? With an impressive all-round package for the £949 label, the Giant Contend 1 takes the win. The Contend offers everything that a well-priced road bike should, with great looks, sound mechanics, rewarding and reassuring handling, plus a fine ride quality. It's practical too, and with rim brakes, relatively easy and inexpensive to repair and upgrade. It comes with tubeless-ready rims and tyres, so it could easily be converted to give some additional punch to security. And Giant dealers will usually do this for you. Alternatively, just swing your leg over one, because the Contend is great fun to ride as it is. Meanwhile, the Trek still gets a strong thumbs up from us, but you'd be wise to use that cash, saving up to invest in a rim brake upgrade before getting too carried away. Which would you choose in our head-to-head? Let us know in the comments. Have you enjoyed this video? Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to BikeRadar if you haven't already. And if you'd like to see more from our Bike of the Year, then check out this video.